I'd like to introduce you to and have call up here someone that actually made a sacrifice for Warwick too, because Mr. Shapiro spent so much time in Warwick, his family missed out on him. Robert Shapiro's son, Stephen Shapiro.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. And I have been coached by my mom because I am Robert Shapiro's son, and I am prone to go off for an hour, but I promise you this will be brief, because talking about my dad and Warwick Public Schools is pretty easy for me. My dad loved Warwick and Warwick Public Schools, and obviously dedicated 50 years of his professional life because he loved it, and because he looked at education as an equalizer and an enabler for people to have a better life and better life outcomes. And he felt like dedicating his life to that was a good thing. And that's why he did it. And, you know, when we dedicated the Robert J. Shapiro Performing Arts Center, when he was still alive, he gave me a nice elbow to the ribs and he said, "Isn't this great? They're doing it while I'm still alive." And, you know, that was his sense of humor. And he would really be thrilled about a lot of things today. Thrilled that Lynn Danbrooks is superintendent of Warwick Public Schools. Absolutely. As he identified her talent early. Thrilled that, in general, all of these friends and family have come and said such kind things to my mom and I. And just in general, thrilled at the direction that things are going in here. So I want to say that if he were here, one of the things that he would say is that this is not about me, and that probably shouldn't actually just be my name, because over the 50 years, it was the dedicated employees of Warwick Public Schools, it was the dedicated parents and citizenry of Warwick, it was the public officials, school committee, and most importantly, the students that all contributed to enable him to do the things that he could do, to be the amazing educator that he was. And so I'm channeling him today to tell you that. And I'll also say that our family is greatly honored to know that there's a street named after my dad, who we miss very much, but his legacy still goes on. And I will say that the comments about getting up early were interesting to me, and I'm going to have to pass it on to his 4 grandchildren, because they clearly have not gotten the message yet. And lastly, I'd really like to say that of all the people, though, that he'd really want to give credit to, the person that he'd want to give the most to sitting in the front row, my mom, Audrey Shapiro. And I want to say this about my mom. So for 50 years, you know, my dad was able to do the things that he could do. And he was at every event. And we used to make fun of him and say, "Hey, co-ed tiddlywinks is Tuesday night. You're going to be there, right?" But the interesting part is he never missed one thing of my brother and I growing up. Not any sporting event we were participating in or anything. He was always there. And my mom was also the supporter and the enabler. And I'm glad that Lynn mentioned about the Talbot's gift card. But it didn't really take the Talbot's gift card. It's just her dedication to him that I greatly honor. And I'm so happy that we could be here to celebrate this. Thank you very much.